Do you find yourself struggling to stay calm in stressful situations? Are you looking for ways to cultivate patience in your everyday life? In this video, we will be exploring the profound teachings of Buddhism on the practice of patience. Step 1. Get used to how things are now. This first step in practicing patience may seem simple, but it is profound and transformative. It is about accepting reality as it is, without resistance or judgment. It is about understanding and embracing the nature of existence, which is impermanence, change, and uncertainty. In Buddhism, this concept is known as suchness or thusness, which refers to the inherent nature of things, just as they are, without any added concepts, labels, or judgments. It is the understanding that everything in life is interconnected, interdependent, and constantly changing. To get used to how things are now, we need to cultivate mindfulness, which is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the moment. Mindfulness allows us to see things as they truly are, without the filters of our desires, fears, and prejudices. It helps us to recognize the impermanence of all phenomena and to let go of our attachment to them. Mindfulness can be practiced in many ways, such as meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to our senses. For example, when we eat, we can focus on the taste, texture, and smell of the food, rather than thinking about other things. When we walk, we can feel the sensation of our feet touching the ground, rather than rushing to our destination. By practicing mindfulness, we can develop a greater appreciation for the present moment and a greater acceptance of reality. We can see that everything is constantly changing and that nothing is permanent or fixed. This can help us to be more patient, as we can see that this too shall pass. Getting used to how things are now does not mean that we become complacent or passive. It does not mean that we do not strive for improvement or change. Rather, it means that we start from a place of acceptance and understanding, rather than resistance and denial. The gardener does not merely accept the reality of growth and change. The gardener also takes action to facilitate and support the growth of the plant. The gardener prepares the soil, waters the seed, provides sunlight and shade, and removes weeds and pests. The gardener also adapts to the changing needs of the plant, such as pruning, fertilizing, and protecting it from harsh weather. Similarly, in our lives, we can adopt the attitude of a gardener. We can accept the reality of how things are now, without resistance or judgment. We can also take action to facilitate and support our growth and development, based on our understanding of the nature of existence. For example, if we are facing a difficult situation, such as a loss, a failure, or a conflict, we can accept the reality of the situation, without denying or avoiding it. We can also take action to address the situation, based on our understanding of the causes and conditions that led to it. We can seek help, learn new skills, or change our behavior as appropriate. We also need to be patient, as growth and change take time. We need to recognize that there are many factors that affect our lives, such as our thoughts, feelings, actions, and environment. We need to adapt to the changing circumstances and adjust our expectations and goals accordingly. Getting used to how things are now does not mean that we become attached to the present moment or that we resist change. Rather, it means that we cultivate a sense of equanimity, which is a balanced and stable mind that is not disturbed by the ups and downs of life. Equanimity allows us to accept the reality of impermanence, change, and uncertainty without becoming attached or averse to them. It allows us to maintain our inner peace and clarity, regardless of the external circumstances. In Buddhism, equanimity is considered one of the 4 divine abodes, along with loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy. These 4 qualities are seen as the foundation of a happy and fulfilling life, as they promote inner peace, harmony, and connection with others. Acceptance is a key component of getting used to how things are now. It involves recognizing and embracing the reality of the present moment, even if it is uncomfortable or not what we desire. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. Rather, it is a recognition that resistance often leads to more suffering. To practice acceptance, start by acknowledging your current situation without judgment. This can be particularly challenging when faced with unpleasant circumstances. For example, if you are stuck in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, acknowledge that you are in traffic and that it is beyond your control. Notice how this acceptance can soften your experience and reduce your impatience. Incorporate mindfulness into your daily activities as a way to get used to how things are now. Whether you are eating, walking, or doing household chores, bring your full attention to the task at hand. Notice the sensations, sounds, and movements involved in each activity. For example, when you are eating, pay attention to the taste, texture, and aroma of your food. Eat slowly and savor each bite. This practice not only enhances your enjoyment, but also trains your mind to stay present and patient. Nature can be a profound teacher of patience and acceptance. Spend time in natural settings and observe the rhythms and cycles of the natural world. Notice how the seasons change, how plants grow and bloom in their own time, and how animals move with purpose and grace. Nature reminds us that everything unfolds in its own time and that there is a natural order to things. By aligning ourselves with these rhythms, we can cultivate greater patience and acceptance in our own lives. Step 2. Get better at handling some discomfort. The journey to cultivating patience in our lives necessitates an honest and compassionate engagement with discomfort. In the teachings of Buddhism, discomfort, or dukkha, is acknowledged as an inherent part of the human experience. This acknowledgement is not a pessimistic resignation, but a profound understanding that opens the door to true liberation and peace. Physical pain, emotional turmoil, mental stress, or the dissatisfaction stemming from unmet desires. By learning to handle discomfort more skillfully, we cultivate patience and resilience, enriching our spiritual journey and everyday life. Here, we will explore this step in greater detail, offering practical insights and Buddhist teachings to guide us. To begin, it is crucial to understand the nature of discomfort. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from attachment and aversion, the clinging to pleasant experiences and the rejection of unpleasant ones. This cycle keeps us trapped in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. By recognizing this, we can start to approach discomfort with a different mindset. Mindfulness, or sati, is a key practice in Buddhism that helps us become more aware of our present experiences without judgment. When discomfort arises, whether in meditation or daily life, mindfulness invites us to observe it with curiosity and openness. Instead of immediately seeking to eliminate the discomfort, we learn to sit with it, exploring its nature. One effective way to get better at handling discomfort is through mindfulness meditation. During meditation, we often encounter various forms of discomfort: restlessness, physical aches, or intrusive thoughts. Rather than shifting position or ending the session, mindfulness teaches us to stay present and investigate the discomfort. For example, if you experience a physical pain during meditation, focus your attention on the sensation. Notice its location, intensity, and any accompanying thoughts or emotions. Is it sharp or dull? Does it change over time? By observing without attachment or aversion, we create a mental space that allows us to respond to discomfort with equanimity. This practice extends beyond the meditation cushion into our daily lives. Life inevitably presents us with situations that test our patience. A traffic jam, a difficult conversation, or a long queue. In these moments, mindfulness can help us stay present and handle the discomfort more skillfully. When faced with a challenging situation, take a moment to pause and breathe. Acknowledge the discomfort without immediately reacting. This simple act of pausing creates a gap between stimulus and response, allowing for a more thoughtful and compassionate reaction. Compassion, or karuna, is another essential element in handling discomfort. Often, our immediate reaction to discomfort is self-criticism or frustration. Buddhism encourages us to respond with self-compassion instead. Recognize that discomfort is a common human experience and treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a friend in a similar situation. Practicing self-compassion involves speaking to yourself in a gentle, reassuring manner. When discomfort arises, remind yourself that it is okay to feel this way and that you are doing your best. This compassionate approach can alleviate the additional suffering caused by self-judgment and pave the way for greater patience. Handling discomfort also involves building resilience. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, and it can be cultivated through regular practice. In Buddhism, resilience is nurtured through the practice of virya, or diligent effort. This involves a commitment to persist in our practice despite challenges. One way to build resilience is by gradually increasing our tolerance for discomfort. For instance, during meditation, if you feel the urge to move due to discomfort, try to stay still for a few moments longer. Notice how your mind reacts and how the sensation changes. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain calm and composed in the face of discomfort. Acceptance is another powerful tool in handling discomfort. Acceptance does not mean passive resignation, but an active engagement with reality as it is. In Buddhism, this is akin to the concept of upekkha, or equanimity. Equanimity allows us to remain balanced and centered regardless of external circumstances. When we accept discomfort as part of our experience, we stop fighting against it. This shift in perspective reduces the intensity of our suffering and enables us to respond more skillfully. Acceptance is cultivated through mindfulness and self-compassion, creating a foundation for enduring patience. Choose a daily activity, such as brushing your teeth or washing dishes, and practice doing it mindfully. Pay attention to the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that arise. Notice any discomfort and observe it without judgment. Practice a body scan meditation to become more aware of physical sensations. Start from the top of your head and move down to your toes, observing any areas of tension or discomfort. Breathe into these areas, allowing the discomfort to be present without trying to change it. Throughout the day, when you encounter discomfort, take a moment to pause and breathe. Acknowledge the discomfort, take a few deep breaths, and then proceed with mindfulness and compassion. When you notice self-criticism arising in response to discomfort, take a self-compassion break. Place your hand over your heart, remind yourself that it is okay to feel this way, and speak to yourself with kindness and understanding. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on moments of discomfort. Write about how you felt, how you responded, and what you learned. This practice can help you identify patterns and cultivate greater awareness. Getting better at handling discomfort is a vital step in cultivating patience. Through mindfulness, self-compassion, acceptance, and resilience, we can transform our relationship with discomfort. Instead of viewing it as an enemy to be avoided, we can see it as an opportunity for growth and deeper understanding. By developing patience through these practices, we create a more peaceful and compassionate world for ourselves and those around us. Let us embark on this journey with an open heart and a steadfast commitment to inner peace and wisdom. Step 3. Take things slower when you feel rushed. Taking things slower when you feel rushed is an essential practice in cultivating patience and mindfulness. In our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves hurrying from one task to another, feeling pressured to meet deadlines, and constantly battling the ticking clock. This rush can lead to stress, anxiety, and a sense of perpetual urgency, which undermines our ability to live mindfully and patiently. By intentionally slowing down, we can break free from this cycle and create a more balanced, peaceful life. The sensation of being rushed is often a byproduct of our modern lifestyle. We live in a culture that values productivity and efficiency, often at the expense of our mental and emotional well-being. This constant push to do more in less time can make us feel like we are always behind, leading to impatience and frustration. In Buddhism, this hurried state is seen as a form of dukkha, or suffering. It stems from our attachment to outcomes and our aversion to the present moment as it is. We become so focused on reaching our goals that we lose sight of the journey itself. Slowing down is a way to counteract this tendency and bring ourselves back to the present. When you notice that you are feeling rushed, take a moment to focus on your breath. Deep, intentional breathing can help calm your mind and body. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times until you feel more centered. Slow down your pace when walking. Pay attention to each step and the sensations in your feet as they touch the ground. Notice the sights, sounds, and smells around you. This practice can help ground you in the present moment and reduce the feeling of being rushed. Throughout your day, take brief pauses between tasks. These pauses do not have to be long. Even a few seconds can make a difference. Use this time to take a few deep breaths, stretch, or simply close your eyes and rest. These intentional breaks can help you reset and approach the next task with a calmer mindset. Instead of multitasking, focus on one task at a time. Give it your full attention and complete it before moving on to the next. Multitasking can create a sense of urgency and scatter your focus, whereas single tasking allows you to be more present and thorough in your work. Be realistic about what you can accomplish in a given time frame. Overcommitting and setting overly ambitious deadlines can lead to unnecessary pressure. Prioritize your tasks and give yourself ample time to complete them without rushing. Build buffer time into your schedule between appointments and tasks. This extra time can act as a cushion, preventing you from feeling hurried if something takes longer than expected. It also provides space for unexpected events without throwing off your entire schedule. Recognize that not everything needs to be perfect. Often, our rush comes from a desire to achieve perfection or meet high standards. Accept that it is okay to make mistakes and that imperfection is a natural part of the human experience. Understand that you cannot control everything. Part of feeling rushed comes from trying to manage every detail and outcome. Practice letting go and trusting that things will unfold as they should. This relinquishment of control can bring a sense of peace and reduce the need to rush. Shift your focus from doing more to doing better. Quality often suffers when we rush. By valuing quality over quantity, you can take your time and produce work that you are proud of, which can be more fulfilling and rewarding. Take time each day to reflect on what you are grateful for. Gratitude can shift your focus from what you need to do to what you have already accomplished and the blessings in your life. This shift in perspective can reduce the sense of urgency and help you appreciate the present moment. Start your day with a calm and unhurried morning routine. Wake up a little earlier if necessary to give yourself time to enjoy your breakfast, meditate, or engage in a quiet activity before the business of the day begins. This sets a peaceful tone for the rest of your day. In your work environment, create a schedule that allows for breaks and realistic deadlines. Communicate with your colleagues about the importance of a balanced workload and support each other in maintaining a pace that is sustainable and healthy. When spending time with family, be fully present. Put away distractions like phones and laptops and engage in activities that allow for meaningful connection. Whether it's a meal together, a walk in the park, or a conversation, be there fully without rushing to the next thing. Make self-care a priority. Allocate time each day for activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. This could include exercise, reading, meditation, or simply resting. Self-care practices help recharge your energy and keep you balanced. Practice mindful eating by slowing down and savoring each bite. Pay attention to the flavors, textures, and aromas of your food. This not only enhances your eating experience, but also aids in better digestion and satisfaction. Taking things slower when you feel rushed is a powerful way to cultivate patience and mindfulness. By bringing deliberate awareness to our actions, embracing a slow mindset, and incorporating slow practices into our daily life, we can transform our experience of time and reduce the stress and impatience that often accompany a hurried lifestyle. The goal is not to become slow in a literal sense, but to create a more mindful and intentional approach to life. In doing so, we can find greater peace, clarity, and joy in each moment, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling existence. Step 4. Think about times you were impatient and how it felt. Reflecting on times when we were impatient is a powerful exercise that offers deep insights into the nature of our impatience and its impacts on our lives. By carefully examining these moments, we can uncover the underlying triggers and emotions that drive our impatience, understand its consequences, and develop strategies to foster greater patience. To begin this reflection, think about specific instances when you felt impatient. Perhaps it was waiting in a long line, dealing with a slow internet connection, or interacting with someone who didn't meet your expectations. Identify as many scenarios as you can. And for each one, ask yourself what triggered your impatience. Common triggers include unmet expectations, delays, discomfort, or the feeling of being out of control. For instance, you might feel impatient when someone is late because you value punctuality and efficiency. Or you may become impatient when stuck in traffic because you have a fear of being late or missing out on something important. Recognizing these triggers helps you understand the external conditions that often set off your impatience. Once you have identified the triggers, explore the emotions that accompanied your impatience. Impatience often manifests as frustration, irritation, or anger. You might also feel anxious, stressed, or even helpless. These emotions are signals from your mind and body that something is amiss. For each scenario, ask yourself how these emotions felt in your body. Did your heart rate increase? Did you feel tension in your muscles? Did you experience a headache or stomachache? Understanding the physical sensations associated with impatience can help you recognize it more quickly in the future, allowing you to intervene before it escalates. Reflect on the impact that your impatience had on you and others. For example, if you snapped at a colleague because they were taking too long to complete a task, consider how this affected your relationship. Did it create tension or resentment? How did it make you feel afterward? Understanding these consequences helps you see that impatience often leads to more harm than good, reinforcing the importance of cultivating patience. As you reflect on these moments of impatience, ask yourself what you can learn from them. Consider practical strategies that could help you manage similar situations in the future. For instance, if waiting in line is a common trigger, you might practice deep breathing or bring a book to read. If interacting with a slow colleague frustrates you, you could practice empathy and remind yourself that everyone works at their own pace. Try to see situations from others' perspectives. Recognize that everyone faces challenges and struggles, and practice responding with kindness and understanding. Remember that all things are transient, including the situations that trigger your impatience. This awareness can help you let go of the need for control and accept things as they are. Focus on what you are grateful for in each moment. This practice can shift your attention away from what's lacking or frustrating and towards what's positive and uplifting. Recognize that not everything will go according to plan, and that delays and obstacles are a natural part of life. Adjust your expectations to be more flexible and realistic. Incorporate these reflections and strategies into your daily life. Start with small, manageable situations and gradually apply your practice to more challenging scenarios. For example, if waiting in line is a source of impatience, use it as an opportunity to practice mindfulness and deep breathing. If dealing with a difficult person triggers impatience, practice empathy and compassion. As you continue this practice, you'll likely notice a shift in your reactions. Situations that once triggered impatience may begin to evoke a sense of calm and understanding. Over time, you will develop a deeper capacity for patience, enhancing your overall well-being and relationships. Remember, the journey to cultivating patience is ongoing. Be gentle with yourself and recognize that progress may be gradual. Each moment of impatience is an opportunity for growth and learning. By continually reflecting on your experiences and applying the teachings of Buddhism, you can transform impatience into a profound sense of patience and peace. Thinking about times when you were impatient and how it felt is a crucial step in the practice of patience. It involves understanding your triggers, examining your emotions and thoughts, recognizing the consequences, and learning from your experiences. By incorporating mindfulness, compassion, and realistic expectations into your daily life, you can cultivate a deeper sense of patience, leading to greater inner peace and more harmonious relationships. Embrace this journey with an open heart and mind, and let the teachings of Buddhism guide you towards a life of greater patience and wisdom. Step 5. Reflect on moments when you lost your patience and how it made you feel. Reflecting on moments when you lost your patience is a powerful exercise in self-awareness and growth. It allows you to understand the triggers, patterns, and consequences of impatience, thereby empowering you to cultivate a more patient and compassionate approach to life's challenges. The first aspect of this reflection involves identifying the specific situations that triggered your impatience. Triggers can vary widely from person to person and might include external circumstances, such as traffic jams or long lines, or internal states, like feeling rushed or stressed. By recognizing these triggers, you can begin to anticipate and prepare for them, reducing their power over you. For instance, think back to a recent time when you felt impatient. What was happening around you? Were you waiting for someone who was late? Were you trying to meet a tight deadline? Understanding the context of your impatience helps to uncover the underlying causes. Often, impatience arises not just from the external situation, but from our internal expectations and desires for things to be different. Reflecting on these reactions can be enlightening. For example, you might notice that impatience often leads to feelings of anger, which in turn can escalate into confrontations or negative interactions with others. Alternatively, you might find that impatience causes you to feel anxious and stressed, which affects your overall well-being. By understanding these reactions, you can start to develop healthier responses to similar situations in the future. As you reflect on multiple instances of impatience, look for patterns. For instance, you might notice that you are more prone to impatience when you are tired or hungry. Or perhaps you find that you become impatient when dealing with certain people or tasks. Recognizing these patterns allows you to take proactive steps to address the underlying issues, such as ensuring you get enough rest or finding ways to make challenging tasks more manageable. An essential part of this reflection process is developing compassion for yourself. It is easy to fall into self-criticism when we see how impatience has negatively affected us and others. However, it is important to remember that impatience is a common human experience. Everyone struggles with it at times, and recognizing this can help you to approach yourself with kindness and understanding. Buddhism teaches that all beings have the potential for growth and transformation. By reflecting on your moments of impatience with compassion, you can cultivate a gentle and supportive attitude towards yourself. This self-compassion is crucial for making meaningful changes and for developing the patience you seek. To deepen your reflection, consider engaging in practical exercises such as journaling or guided meditation. Journaling allows you to explore your thoughts and feelings in detail, helping you to gain clarity and insight. You can write about specific instances of impatience, examining the triggers, reactions, and consequences, and then reflect on what you have learned. Guided meditations focused on patience and compassion can also be beneficial. These meditations often involve visualizing situations that test your patience and practicing responding with calm and kindness. By regularly engaging in these exercises, you can reinforce your intention to cultivate patience and develop the skills needed to achieve it. Mindfulness is a central aspect of Buddhist practice and is particularly relevant to cultivating patience. By training the mind to stay present and attentive, mindfulness helps you to notice the early signs of impatience and to respond more skillfully. For instance, when you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of the physical sensations and emotional states that signal the onset of impatience. Instead of reacting automatically, you can take a mindful pause, allowing yourself to observe the situation without judgment. This pause creates a space in which you can choose a more patient and compassionate response. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily life can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to focus on your breath, paying attention to your bodily sensations, or engaging in mindful walking or eating. The key is to cultivate a habit of present moment awareness that supports your intention to develop patience. Reflecting on moments when you lost your patience is a powerful practice that can lead to significant personal growth. By understanding your triggers, reactions, and patterns, and by approaching yourself with compassion, you can develop strategies to manage impatience more effectively. Incorporating mindfulness and practical exercises into your daily routine can further support your journey towards greater patience. Cultivating patience is a gradual process that requires ongoing practice and commitment. Each moment of impatience is an opportunity to learn and grow. By embracing these opportunities with a compassionate and open heart, you can transform your impatience into a source of strength and wisdom, enhancing your well-being and your relationships with others. Step 6. Make time for yourself in your daily life. Making time for ourselves in our daily life can also help us to be more patient. When we are rested, nourished, and content, we are less likely to be irritable, anxious, or impatient. We are also more likely to be present in the moment, to appreciate the beauty and wonder of life, and to respond to the challenges and opportunities of life with wisdom and compassion. Having a daily routine can help us to manage our time more effectively and to ensure that we have time for ourselves. In Buddhism, the daily routine is often centered around meditation and mindfulness practices, but it can also include exercise, hobbies, and relaxation. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is about taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. This can include things like getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and taking time to relax and unwind. In order to make time for ourselves, we may need to set boundaries with others. This can be difficult, especially if we are used to putting the needs of others before our own. However, it is important to remember that setting boundaries is not about rejecting or abandoning others, but about taking care of ourselves so that we can better care for others. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It is a powerful tool for self-care, as it can help us to manage stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. It can also help us to appreciate the beauty and wonder of life, and to find joy and contentment in the present moment. Gratitude is the practice of recognizing and appreciating the good things in our lives. It is a powerful tool for self-care, as it can help us to manage stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. It can also help us to appreciate the beauty and wonder of life, and to find joy and contentment in the present moment. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we may struggle to make time for ourselves, or to take care of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. In these cases, it may be helpful to seek the support of a professional, such as a doctor, a therapist, or a counselor. Making time for ourselves in our daily life is a necessary part of the spiritual path. It is not about selfishness or self-indulgence, but about wisdom and compassion. When we take care of ourselves, we are better able to take care of others. We are also more likely to be patient, to appreciate the beauty and wonder of life, and to respond to the challenges and opportunities of life with wisdom and compassion. Cultivating patience is a journey, one that requires mindfulness, reflection, and self-care. Through the teachings of Buddhism, we can learn to accept the present moment, embrace discomfort, slow down, reflect on our experiences, and care for ourselves. These practices help us develop a deep and lasting patience that can transform our lives and relationships. May we all be blessed with the patience that leads to wisdom, the patience that leads to compassion, and the patience that leads to inner peace and fulfillment.